In this video we're going to look at translations applied to the functions of curves. So there are two forms that we're going to look at. We're going to look at how a function can be transformed by a horizontal movement and by a vertical movement. So any functions that are translations in this form, so this is where something is added or could be subtracted from the x-coordinate. Well, because it's affecting the x-coordinate, it's going to affect a movement in the horizontal direction, and it's going to be a translation, and the vector is going to be negative a 0. So if it's x, say for instance x plus 5, it's actually going to be a shift of 5 to the left. Now if we are looking at a transformation where we are adding or subtracting something from the entire function, then that's going to affect where it lies in the vertical direction. So the scale factor here is going to be 0a. So it's going to shift up if it's a positive, and it's going to shift down if it's a negative. So we're going to look at applying this to a couple of functions. Now you don't have to worry about being able to sketch a function such as this. It's given to us and we're just told it's here fx. So we can then look at how to sketch f of x plus 2. So the x coordinates are all 2 higher. So in terms of how this looks graphically, they're all going to be 2 to the left of where they are now. So I have here 5 points which are marked on, and I'm going to have to look at what happens to these 5 points. So this point will shift 2 to the left and will become negative 3, 0. This point will shift to left, so it will become negative 4, 4. This point will shift 2 to the left, and so will become negative 1, 0. This will shift 2 to the left and will become 1, negative 2. And this point will shift 2 to the left and will become 2, negative 1. Now often we'd sketch this on a separate set of axes, but I've tried to keep it on one, and hopefully we can see the effect that this has. So the first turning point is up here, 2 to the left of where it was originally. It's going to now intersect 2 to the left of where it did. It's going to have the next turning point 2 to the left of where it was, and 2 to the left of where it was. And we can see hopefully that that's the same key sort of pattern to the graph, to the function. It's just shifted 2 to the left. So the second function, again this is labelled as y equals or f of x. We're told there's an asymptote at y equals 0, so that means that this part of it will just extend forever and not actually reach the axis, and we want to sketch f of x plus 3. So the whole function is going to shift 3 up. So negative 3, 5 will shift up to negative 3, 8. And that might appear to be the only feature, but we've got this asymptote. So the asymptote is going to shift up as well. So the asymptote is going to be at y equals 3. So if I now try and sketch this, this was the maximum turning point. So it shifts 3 up. And I can sketch the rest of my function.